Greetings and welcome to another Impressions video here at Words About Games, and today we're going to be looking at The Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is a sci-fi western RPG from the developers of Fallout New Vegas and the original creators of the Fallout series, set in a distant solar system in a future where capitalism has won and corporations run pretty much everything. Players are cast in the role of a newly awakened colonist kept in suspended animation for decades, and from there you're pretty much left to forge your own destiny through this new world. The Outer Worlds is a refreshing game to play. It's completely single-player, focused on delivering a meaningful player-driven narrative full of choices that can affect everything around you, wrapped around a world that feels like it was built with purpose, packed with meaningful exploration, no filler content, and nothing that feels designed to waste your time or have you grind the same thing over and over for minimal reward. The fact that this feels fresh in the RPG genre is probably a topic worthy of its own video, but for now we'll just stick to talking about the Outer Worlds. So let's talk about the titular Outer Worlds themselves. Obsidian have crafted a fully fleshed out, incredibly immersive frontier for you to explore. Halcyon is made up of a series of colonies, all run by different corporations with competing interests and a questionable regard for human life. They all have problems, because what kind of RPG would this be if the world's leaders and citizens didn't all have problems that can only be solved by the timely intervention of a player character? Because the protagonist has spent 70 years in suspended animation, Halcyon is a world that's fully fleshed out and feels lived in. It also truly feels like a frontier, thanks to the constant danger, flexible rules, and the fact that it's been conceived as a Western, complete with Western-appropriate dialogue. It's incredibly immersive, offering Obsidian a chance to flex their impressive talents for world building. On the surface, The Outer Worlds presents itself as a biting parody of capitalism run rampant. And it's definitely a successful one. Absurd situations are presented completely straight, and it's often hilarious. But this is also a game that doesn't shy away from the darkness in its themes. Late-stage capitalism in space brings with it difficult choices and plenty of downtrodden characters crushed under the boot of the company, and The Outer Worlds lays everything bare and lets you really feel the casual brutality of what these people go through, in amongst the jokes about diet toothpaste and terrible yet sweet love poems. And speaking of terrible yet sweet love poems, a large part of what makes this game so grounded is its wonderfully well-realised cast of characters. Starting with the excellent crew you gather for your ship, the Unreliable, all of whom are compelling. I genuinely wanted to spend time talking with them, seeing them talk with one another, getting to know them, and helping them with their problems. Their personal questlines are a delight, particularly the incredibly sweet storyline for Parvati, which is some of the best writing in a game all year. That often makes up my party members, not to synergize their abilities or to augment my skills, but just to see how they interacted with each other. But this runs through most of the characters you meet, from the slimy bastards to the manipulative wankers, the downtrodden workers, the quirky bandits, and the people just trying to get by in this corporate-run nightmare world. As you'd expect from an immersive RPG, the gameplay is just as robust as the story when it comes to making choices. You're able to build your character however you like, by leveling skills and selecting perks. Perks give you useful buffs such as extra health or increased carrying capacity. Skills are grouped up into categories: speech, tech, weapons, and such. By allocating skill points to speech, for example, you'll raise 3 individual skills for persuasion, lying, and intimidation, before being able to specialise once you hit a certain level cap. However you choose to build out your character, there will be solutions to every problem nearby. Characters with high speech can talk their way past situations, high stealth characters can find alternative routes, high levels in guns give you an edge in combat, and so on. The Outer Worlds very much moulds itself around how you want to approach it, which gives a satisfying weight to the choices you make, and every approach works well. Combat is particularly thrilling. Guns and melee weapons feel like they pack a punch, and there are a ton of different types to let you approach a fight however you want. Your character is also equipped with an ability to slow down time and target limbs for various effects, such as hitting an enemy's legs to stagger them, or hitting them in the head to blind them, which feels incredibly natural and adds a strategic edge to any given fight. There are a couple of areas where the Outer Worlds feels a little clunky. The UI when you're browsing your inventory feels like it wasn't really thought through properly. Highlighting an item to see what it does brings up a box that obscures the rest of your items, making browsing an annoyance. And you'll end up picking up so many different foods and drugs, each of which have different effects, that you'll just end up ignoring them. I'm also not a big fan of the flaw system. Every now and again, the game presents you with the option to take on a flaw in exchange for a bonus perk point. If you've taken a lot of fall damage, for example, you're given the option to have a fear of heights, which will give some of your abilities minuses if you're up a height. It's a neat idea in theory, but I never really found the trade-off particularly worth it, and just sort of avoided them altogether. But these are some very minor quibbles in an otherwise excellent game. The Outer Worlds is probably one of the best RPGs of its type in years, and while I've purposefully avoided the comparison in this entire video because the game deserves to stand on its own merits, it's easily a better Fallout than Bethesda have managed since they took stewardship of the license. The writing is excellent, the immersion in its world is exemplary, the characters are a joy to interact with, and the gameplay is rock solid. In short, The Outer Worlds is the complete package for anyone looking for a compelling RPG to sink their teeth into. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a comment, like, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got tons of awesome videos coming every week, including review impressions, indie game of the week, debate-driven top 5 lists, video essays, and our weekly podcast where we discuss games, gaming culture, and the games industry. We also stream 3 times a week at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. But most importantly, have a fantastic day.